You want another earthquake to be for the World Series, Rich? Hello, everybody, and welcome to a new episode. I was going to say new installment of Inside the Wampa Cave, but you got to join us on Patreon for that. Cheers, choo-choo. This is the postseason edition of MACHTAILS from the Cantina Live, the impromptu version. We have no plans. It's just a lot of riffing, but we do want to talk about the baseball hangover for the Red Sox and Dodgers Nation. And fuck you, Michael Wistock, for not showing up on my show. I've invited you how many times? Now, John Zancanaro, he said that the show was cursed. He said the show was cursed because everybody that I've invited on this show, and I did invite Michael Wistock on the show producer Michael Wistock, several times. John, you still feeling like it's cursed, man? John, yeah?
Still cursed.
Still cursed. We're going to talk to Boston Nan. Hopefully we'll talk to Michael Wistock. He's gotten an invite. He's gotten a text. He is out in Las Vegas right now watching the Raiders. The Raiders used to be where?
Oakland Raiders.
And now now they got the problem that Tampa hopefully does not have.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to have the Canadian Rays. Even though I love Canada, don't get me wrong.
The Montreal Rays. You can speak French, you can learn it.
I can learn French, yes. Yeah, well, you know what? When you go to Tunisia, like I did for the Force Among Us, French is the number one language spoken there.
Okay, so you got a base.
I got a base, yes, I got a base. But I want to talk, this hangover is fresh. Maybe not as fresh as Wistock's hangover. Actually, Wistock sent me a text. He said, baseball can suck my balls. He goes, this is going to be the worst World Series ever. I don't necessarily think about that as the worst World Series ever. You know, it was a year ago today that I went to my hotel room after Game 4, and Tyler recorded a Zoom chat with me because me and Wistock were out at the game where Brett Phillips hit that ball, and it was the Benny Hill show. Pretty much.
That was a year ago.
That was a year ago today.
Wow.
A year ago today. So I want to talk to Boston Dan because his wife is wondering where he's at. Dude, I got to thank you again for, I added you to the show. There you go. Hey, you know what? Your wife is probably making sure that your internet connection is not as good as it used to be on this show.
I know. I'm getting sabotaged left and right. Yeah, if I'm not getting sabotaged by you and everybody else in that postseason chat that we have, where everybody's just attacking me, it's now it's home base, and the wife is sabotaging the Wi-Fi so I can get off here quicker.
So Dan, is your wife a Red Sox fan like yourself?
No, she not as much.
Not as much.
She, she grew up in a family that they weren't really big into sports or anything like that. It was mostly me that had the bad influence on her. I mean, and she, when we wait,
you said the bad influence on her.
Well, the other thing is that she never seen Star Wars until I showed it to her.
So you introduced her to Star Wars and baseball.
Yes, and the hardcore drinking culture that is Weymouth, Massachusetts too. We're terrible people when we get together. That's for sure.
But Dan, every time you're on the show, you're never really drinking as much as we are. Are you drinking tonight?
No, I'm not actually. I drank for the last 2 days.
It's Sunday night. I got a live audience tonight.
I know.
I got a live audience tonight. We're all drinking like it's Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, I know. Well, the past 2 days I've been drinking, so oh boy. And there's definitely reasons to drink, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, Dan, I will say, now here's the thing. Now he's a Sox fan, first and foremost. He said that you guys are just looking for a reason, like, because I'm a Cubs fan, Rich is a Cubs fan, and he said, yeah, you guys are like typical Cubs fans. You're just looking for a reason. Because I blamed him. I said, he bet on the Red Sox 2 games.
Yeah.
He bought a fucking Red Sox hat.
Right.
And here they are. They're eliminated. Just their bats were hot and they went. I don't understand. That's the thing about the postseason,
Yes.
Isn't that fucking crazy?
It is.
And
It
it
is.
wasn't like their bats were cold against the Astros. They were hot at first.
And
They
then
were.
But then they just, you can't fire the hitting coach for that. He was
No.
nah.
You know, you and in something like this, you can pinpoint certain things, and it was definitely that game for what was it? It was top of the eighth, and it was that miss, that miss strike call, and then after that, Altuve hit that home run, tied it up, and then it seemed as if the Sox were like, you know what, F this. We don't want to deal with you anymore. So they just threw softballs and just, they hit him out of the park. At the end, it ended up being, what was it, like 9-2 or 9-3 or something like that. And, that was painful. And then like going to the next day and just really just crapping the whole field, man. Just like nothing was working. Like Kike just like was cold, like out in the field, everybody.
Yeah, and Kike Hernandez was like, fuck, he was on fire, like every game. How does Kike go from hot to cold? Just like you, froze up like Han Solo. You froze up like a carbonite right there, man.
Did it freeze again? I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
your
a terrible.
Your wife is like, you know what? We don't want you on Zoom anymore. We don't want you doing any more live podcast shows anymore.
I know.
We have to cut your time. We have to cut your time. But I got to tell you, as a Rays fan and him as a Sox fan, I don't want to laugh at you as a Red Sox fan. I want to welcome you to the fucking pain and the hurt that I felt that you guys gave us. Now you got
it. Hey,
now,
you didn't walk all over us. That's all I cared, man. Like we didn't come in here and act afraid. We came in and we attacked, and we did really well against the Rays, and we did really well in the beginning with the Astros, and we tapped out.
I can't believe how resilient that you guys were, because we whooped your ass game one, and then you guys just came back and eliminated us, and then you guys put up a fight against the Astros. I don't know, like it was like a switch.
Yeah.
Yeah, you watched game one, game two, you're like, oh, it's Red Sox all the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I had great confidence about that too, and just all of a sudden them just kind of just cooling off, and you can see it. Everybody saw it. It's like they had to drive those runs high early in the beginning of the game, and then just really it's that I joke around. I go back and say, the Patriots way, bend but don't break. It's like, take their onslaught, but just take it just enough that you don't make as many runs to either equal out or completely lose the game. You lose your concentration. It's like, okay, you got to lead, keep it, but when it was like those one run game, 1-2 game runs, it was just like they couldn't hold them, and they just didn't have the bullpen to really trust anybody in there to be able to hold a lead.
All right, so you were a struggling fan for 86 years, obviously before you were born even. You guys won a handful of World Series in your lifetime. You shared with me that unfortunately your grandfather did not see them win the World Series in 2004.
Correct.
How was your hangover yesterday compared to today? And did you have one at all?
It was, it's a terrible analogy, but it's one of those things where it's, you saw the writing on the wall, especially when it was game 4, and you came into here, you had high hopes, but like when you didn't see the spark, like there, like in the first couple of innings, and it's just like they weren't really doing anything. It's just kind of like, okay, well, all right, if you're not going to try, man, like what do you want me to do? Like it's tough to keep positive for so long, and then all of a sudden they just like, I didn't see the effort in there, and it kind of bummed me out that it was like that. And so it's just, it was a little tough for sure.
You were bummed out before they were eliminated.
Yeah, but I mean that was the thing. It's just like, the first couple of innings, it just like I said, they really needed to be hot, like right in the beginning. They had to get those runs. They really had to compete against like the Astros, and they weren't doing that in the first few innings, and it's just like, like wow, it's frustrating.
Is your life any different than it was 2 days ago?
Yeah. And just to go on top of that, what did it feel like
No,
when you woke up the next day and you're like, there's no Red Sox baseball today?
yeah, well then, I mean, there's always the winter meetings. There's continue-ons. It's like, okay,
so you're
I
kind
gotta
of
look.
already
I gotta look.
looking forward to this.
Yeah.
Okay,
You know
good.
what? It's like you got to look to the future, and then you got to make sure that obviously I have no say in
Mr.
it, but it's
Positive,
like,
this guy. Me and Tyler are crying in our beers. He's rooting for the Red Sox because his White Sox got eliminated. I'm rooting for the Giants. They got eliminated like that. We're
right.
me and Tyler are looking for the next big thing. And
Yeah.
you're like, there's a winter meetings.
Yeah, there's winter meetings, and then then there's the trades and everything like that. It's like they know what they need to improve their team. Go get it. You gotta go get it. And it's like that's the next. You gotta look past the loss and continue on and look towards the future. And that's all you can do. It's tough to see like these two teams, the Atlanta Braves and the Astros, and not think that, man, we were almost there. We were going to be one of those two teams that was going to compete for the World Series this year, and it's just like, no, it just didn't happen. So, it's so torturous, man. So torturous. I don't know.
But you know what? You will get by. You will get by like we did. Obviously, you seem to be handling it a little bit better than us.
Right.
Opening day, it's going to be Rays and Red Sox at Fenway.
I know, baby.
We got the two losers of the postseason are going to pick up.
I know.
Where we left off, which is good.
And it'll be interesting to see what happens. It will be interesting to see if like that rivalry picks up in the next season. So,
do we really have an audience member that fell asleep? We have an audience member that fell asleep. We can't be that boring, Rich. Anyway, no, Dan, what is your plan?
Really? Oh no.
Are you a football guy? Are you gonna root for the fucking Dodgers? You're gonna root for the well, no, you can't root for the Dodgers because they're gonna eliminate.
I know. What do you want me to do?
The Braves. You're
gonna root for the Braves now that they,
I'm gonna root for the Braves. Where are you at with
your fucking baseball fanaticism?
I'll it's tough to say, because it's like where Boston is such like is a sports town as well. We it's almost like the next slot in. It's like, okay, it was the Red Sox. The Red Sox are eliminated. Okay, now it's the Patriots, the Celtics, and the Bruins, and it's like then you can disperse your fandom into like one of those three other teams and just like continue on. For me personally, I mean, I'm going to be watching more Bruins than football or anything else. It's just because it's just a lot more exciting, and the stoppage time. There's not a whole lot of stoppage time when it comes to like hockey comparable to every other team that's there. So that's what I'm going to be looking forward to.
Dan, I got a lot of respect for you because I met you through Star Wars. I was a Rays fan, anti-Red Sox fan.
Right.
And you had this like this very Buddha type mentality. You're like, no, I love everybody. I want to listen to everybody. I believe I had lost one Patreon member because of being vocal about the Red Sox.
Right.
And this guy's not really a Red Sox fan. He's a Bruins fan. But he's like, you're talking any shit about my team from Boston? Fuck you. And I lost him that way. But, I still got you. And I think because of your mentality, it's been nice. I gotta share one story with you. I was in the grocery store 2 days after I got back from St. Pete, and there was this Red Sox fan in front of me. And that encourages me to wear my Rays shit because there's not a lot of Rays fans in the state of Illinois. Anywhere. In the state of Florida, there's not even a lot of Rays fans.
Yeah. Can't even stop.
No, so I'm behind this Red Sox fan in Illinois, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to be behind you. And he reminded me of you because he's like, he talked to me. We talked about baseball. We talked about our families. He was a really, really, really nice guy.
Right.
And, I don't hate Red Sox Nation 101% because I meet people like you, meet people like the guy at the grocery store. But I lost my Patreon member because I was talking too much shit about it. Boston. But yeah, I gotta run some quotes by you from Rogue One moments.
Okay.
That remind me of the postseason. Maybe not as much as where you're at because you guys had a good run.
Right.
You guys had a good run. My run ended 2 weeks ago, and it's yours did too.
Yeah.
But
right.
Rogue One, when Jyn Erso is talking to Cassian, and he's like, "You have the plans, right? You have the message, and she's like, "It happened so fast." You feel like that about the baseball team?
Yeah,
like your baseball team's eliminated like that.
Boom.
Yeah, just like that. Yeah,
I know. And then, of course, my hate towards the Red Sox came out when Andor told Jyn, he goes, "You're in shock, and you're looking for someplace to put it."
Yeah, they put him towards me. That's what it is. That's the problem.
Put it towards you. And of course, we all feel like this. You could feel like this too. When Krennic was like, "We were on the verge of greatness. We were this close." You know, it's like that really sums up the postseason performance that we all had. Even John with the Brewers,
it's just one series.
One series, man.
That's all it takes.
One series.
One game in some instances to get on.
And for some reason, Boston Dan wants to cosplay as Han Solo and Carbonite tonight.
Yeah, he's doing a really good job at it, I gotta say. He just needs a hand.
I think his wife is doing the we're gonna break the transmission to Scarif.
Am I still frozen?
You're back. You're back now.
I think your wife is behind this, Dan.
Yeah. I don't know if you can see though. There's some blindness that occurs from carbon freezing. We certainly can't see you. Actually, you're a little.
Oh my God!
It's the cold, curse. But are you coming back? Are you warming up?
This is such a bad dude. Nothing's working. Everything's all downhill. Oh my God. Well, go check out MACHTAILS, man. Live from the Cantina. He does all kinds of great interviews and he does a lot of great talks. And if you could hear me, man, I'd say I suggest being a Patreon for them. Chris he's a hard worker, man, and he does a lot of things for people, and I really appreciate everything that he's done for us and for all his fans. I mean, look at that. They're all kind of chilling out and everything like that. I can't hear them, but I'm doing if they can't hear me, that's fine. Or if you guys can hear me, then I say go for it. But hey, sign on, be a Patreon for him.
Can you hear us?
Yep, now I can. Yep, right. I can hear you.
Hello.
This is a train wreck. You're right.
I'm a train wreck, but
this is what happens when you do a doubleheader, and this is what happens when the show is cursed, and when you say goodbye to Red Sox and Dodgers Nation.
Yeah, I know, right?
Hey guys, we will catch you guys next time on MACHTAILS from the Cantina. Be safe, be well, and Michael Wistock, go fuck yourself. But hey, Michael, thank you for the support anyway.
Yeah.
Cheers, guys. We will see you next time on MACHTAILS from the Cantina.